Hey, what's going on, guys? here. In this video, I'd like to introduce a new project that I'm gonna start building on top of everything I've built so far regarding Chinese chess CNC. So, before proceeding, for those of you who is not aware of what I did so far, I will demonstrate you this very quickly, and then we'll try to share my thoughts on ongoing stuff basically. So I've created three apps here to play the game of Chinese chess versus computer. I'm sorry it's a little bit laggy because opening books is based on 40,000 games. So we have the difficulty levels, the different themes, piece types, things like that. Also, we can watch the games by grandmasters. Really lots of interesting things. Also, one of the most interesting is the puzzle solver to find mate in 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So, but all these apps feels like a little bit, like they feel a little bit. I don't even know how to say this. Miscoordinated, probably the right word. So I just had some ideas in mind. I tried to bring all this stuff together, but so far I just have separate apps. And yeah, obviously they all are available as static HTML files that you can either run directly in the browser or download and play locally. So that's all cool. And even the engine that I've created, which is called Ukun, named by Chinese fairy character Sonokun, it also it's also obviously it's also written in Node.js. So, and as far as I get away from the opening book, it would then start calculating. Okay, let me just make some dumb move to make sure. Yeah, so see, like now the engine starts calculating and so on. So this engine is also capable of working in console mode to be connected to, well, I was testing this with Winboard GUI to play with Max T by Harmgert Müller, who has created this minimalist CNC engine. I was playing a match between Ukun and Max T on my local system. So it's also it supports the UCI protocol to play versus other engines. So anyway, it's not the point really. The point is that what I actually want to say. So I've created this kind of building blocks, and now I feel that I really want to bring all this stuff together into a single project that would be kind of like probably I should call it GUI for CNC, and this would be a desktop application, cross-platform one, obviously. And I found an amazing framework that is called electronjs that allows you to create these cross-platform apps. And one of the most benefits behind this is that I can reuse my HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code entirely to build this new app. And literally, what Electron is, it's some sort of a mixture of Chromium browser, the one you can see now on your screen, Node.js, and Node.js. And the idea is very simple, so it kind of like, but what's different from the browsing experience, that from the browser itself, you can't really access the system processes, like let's say the UCI engine that is running via the command line interface. But with Electron, it's possible to interact with UCI engines. So potentially it would be possible to play games like engine versus engine in this app that I'm going to build. And also, yeah, so opportunities are really awesome because I can use whatever JavaScript frameworks. I was thinking about using CNCBridge.js, which is the derivative of chessboard.js, for representing the chessboard, because that feels like a little bit better than mine. Well, mine's fine as well, and I will probably need to add some highlighting and things like that, bells and whistles to a chessboard, to CNCBridge.js, just to give you a very quick CNCBridge.js. No, not here. It should be here. Okay, so here is how it looks like. So actually it supports different themes as well, but it really looks awesome to my eyes. So we just go to examples and I just try this integration. Let's say play random computer. Well, this one might be awesome. So just to have this playing experience. Well, it doesn't seem to be highlighting the move by the opponent, but that can actually be altered later on. So I don't think that is gonna be a big problem. So now I just checkmate the opponent to end this quickly. So yeah, this might be the case. Well, it's probably a little bit arguable which one is better, but I think that I can just reuse the background images, and that's kind of because it's really better regarding the browser compatibility. It's a little bit of a pain for tap mode, so it seems like it doesn't load. It seems like it doesn't load this tap. But again, like the only application for that would be on tab devices. But as far as it would be the desktop application, not the mobile application. It's not really needed. So this drag and drop is really enough. So I think I can really make big use of integrating this fantastic board brought by, what was the guy's name? I really forgot that. By Xiangqi for us. So yeah, I think this might be the case. Like this board might be a good idea for that app. And yeah, and then just connect the engine. So I did similar with my Wukong chess engine for international Western chess, where I've incorporated that with chessboard.js. So it should be trivial to do the same for this one for CNC.js as well. So just to give a very quick idea, I don't even chessboard integration, I guess this is it. Yeah, so like here I've integrated with chessboard.js, so the same can be done with this TNC board, which is exactly like the derivative of this board, but adapted for CNC, which is really awesome. So yeah, that's kind of it basically. And it's also, this library is really hackable. So yeah, and I really have lots of plans, and the accessing and the matter of access to the operating system is really awesome for the app, because I can build a bigger database basically, right? And as far as everything is running locally, I don't need time. So let's say now in particular, in order to load this app, it has quite pretty huge opening books, which are stored in JavaScript files just in order to avoid any backend. But in case of the local app, all those JavaScript files containing opening books would be already kind of downloaded, because they're kind of all hosted locally, right? So that's the case basically. And yeah, so I I think that might be really good idea to consider. And again, like things like connecting engines, trying to play matches in future potentially. So really some interesting ideas arising. And now a few words regarding the reason of doing this. So unfortunately, the only software that is truly widely used by people, by Chinese people mostly, and you'll now understand why exactly by Chinese people, is app that is called CCBridge. So CCBridge is a Windows application that has been developed by someone, a guy, and no one knows his name, and he has disappeared somewhere for some reason. Is it opening? Sorry, yeah, it does open finally. So yeah, here is how the CCBridge looks like. But it has, it's really, this is really awesome app, but it has a very, one major downside. It's all in Chinese, and it's a little bit too tricky to, like, yeah, deal with this sort of stuff, because, yeah, without knowing Chinese, well, there are some references, like translation of all of this stuff, but say I'm on Linux, right? And in order to run this Windows app, I need to use the Wine emulator. And to be honest, I don't even know how to install Chinese fonts via Vine. So probably, yeah, seeing the characters won't help me much, obviously. But anyway, so there are some references. But again, like the major problem behind this app is that it's not been developed for more than 6 years at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong though. Or maybe even the latest version was in 2013. I don't remember, but I read somewhere that it's quite pretty outdated, even though it's really awesome and kind of like today's world standard. But yeah, it's unfortunately, without being developed anymore, it's not really. It's gonna die one day, basically, because one day they will create a Windows version that just won't be supporting this sort of stuff, and that's very unfortunate. So probably the very last thing I would like to show you in this video. So I've downloaded this Electron Quick Start GitHub repository, which is a sample template project to create an instance of Electron app. I don't know yet how to build this into a operating system native binary executable. That should be possible, hopefully in a quite pretty simple way to do that. But at the moment, I can only kind of run the app. So it's all done using the npm node package manager. And here is how the app looks like. So we have a desktop app. Oh no, sorry, don't want to close the terminal. So we have a desktop application, which is literally a Chrome browser, yeah, but it has an access to the operating system, which is real kind of like a benefit. So I'm not yet sure about this, the width of the window and stuff like that. So how would how it would behave, how to handle the responsive stuff and things like that. So it's all to be researched. It should be, I'm just wondering, I'm sorry guys, I just pressed Control R and stopped my video recording software. So yeah, the bindings are working just like in the Chrome browser. So Control R to reload the page, toggle developer tools, Control Shift I is also on the card. So it's literally like a little Chrome browser, but you can configure it from JavaScript code, which is really awesome. So yeah, this is how it works. So here I'm planning to embed this CNC board.js from here, and probably trying to potentially add some new features to it, like drawing the arrows on right click drag and drop, on right mouse drag and drop, like marking squares when right clicking on them and so on. So really lots of ideas. So yeah, I think this might be really interesting. It's a little bit unclear for me yet still on how to build this single file binary executable for different operating systems, different than Linux where I work. But the very interesting thing that it actually the setup is really probably the simplest setup to come up with. So you just need to download Node.js and install it, and npm would already be there, and then just literally running 3 commands, and that's already enough to create this to run the app basically. So if we have a look at the README, so all we need to do actually just even less. So when we've cloned the repo, go into the directory, so literally 2 commands like npm install and npm start to run the app, and that's it. So this should be really trivial. But again, like obviously for the end users, it would be a good idea to create this single file binary executable. I think that might be really the case. I'm not sure if that binary executable would actually be if that would actually contain the JavaScript code and HTML code and things like that. That's a good question. I need to research at the moment. I would love that it wouldn't, but unfortunately, probably will. I don't know. I really don't know. So I really need to check that out, and how to build the app to a single binary executable native for the operating system we're running this stuff. Okay, so I think this is really it from my side regarding this tutorial, and I'm really happy. Sorry, not a tutorial regarding this video, and I'm really happy that finally all the stuff kind of comes together. Like I've been doing really lots of things in web interface, and finally we can bring this all together to this cross-platform application, desktop application. Okay, guys. So yeah, I think this is it from my side. Nothing really much to say more. I don't really want to repeat what I've said already. So I don't think that I would have been making tutorials on how to master this electronjs framework. Because I'm not pretty new, I'm completely new to it on my own. But what I can say that I will try to minimize the usage of the framework and focus more on this internal HTML, CSS, and JavaScript content, obviously, which is the core. And yeah, so that's the way to go. And another thing that I'm a little bit concerned is really like just how to make these binary executables. And as soon as that is established, but that should be quite pretty possible. I think later, starting from that moment, I would be just making videos on progress on this project, kind of like showcasing what I did so far, introducing some new features, and the feedbacks are really appreciated from you guys, because I'm really making this for you. Well, for my own self as well, but for you, obviously, it's really important. So it would be nice to have a really nice GUI for Chinese chess in English, so we could kind of make use of it, basically. Yeah, so I think that's generally a very good idea. Well, okay, so I think. Yeah, sorry, just I have some thoughts going in the background in my brain, but they're quite pretty raw at the moment, so I would rather share them when the time comes. Basically, that's kind of it. So hope to see you in the next videos showcasing the work. The code would obviously be open source, so I think this might be reused. And one last thing, just one last thing before the end. Where is my, oh man, how did I call that? UBB parser. Yeah, this one. There is a very fantastic. I was building some app to convert the games in UBB format, which is the standard for the site that is called don'tpcnc.com, and it uses this sort of a format, which is, if you have a look at this, it's very similar to what actually CCBridge is using. So we have this comment-driven window, variation window, and the move list window. So I'm really thinking about this interface to take as the basis. I mean, not this particular one, but I mean the layout, the idea. So this also might be kind of interesting. And also this technology of using electronjs actually would allow a simple thing like we can just connect this sort of this is the single file app, by the way, so we can just connect the simple UBB parser.html, probably open this in a new window or something, I don't know. I really need to take tons of decisions regarding the architecture, but the cool thing is that instead of rewriting this stuff from scratch, it's even possible to actually use it, yeah. And probably maybe it would even make sense to make this a standalone application, and even more, it might makes probably I don't know if I could. I just really love the functionality that this app has. The only thing I don't like about this is how it looks. So if I ever kind of find a way to and how to change the code architecture, probably, so maybe avoid this dynamic rendering, or I don't know, it's very hard to say. So I just really love how this works in essence. I just don't like how it looks. And here I like how the stuff looks, but I don't like how but it doesn't kind of work in terms of it's just a chessboard, and my engine is just an engine. So I do have a GUI, but it's really miserable compared to this one. So I just try to compare and one last thing, yeah, this board is dumb. It knows nothing about the rules of Chinese chess. So the idea is to use my engine in order to let the board know about the valid moves, which is absolutely essential for GUI, right? And then probably using this sort of a format, so to make it more, to make it more familiar for those guys who actually used to work with CCBridge, because it really looks like a CCBridge. And probably I didn't yet take a name for create a name for this project. And if I ever to reuse this sort of an interface and logic, how it works, then probably it would make sense to actually call it CCBridge JS or things like that, or kind of new CCBridge or whatever, or web CCBridge. I don't know how to call it, but they are very similar. And I don't know, but I feel that the authors of the CCBridge and of this app, if they are not the same guy, basically, then at very least they know each other very well, basically. So yeah, I think this might make some sense, and we'll see how far would I be able to go with this sort of a project. Well, at very least, to be honest, guys, I feel extremely excited about it, and I really feel that finally I have enough skills, knowledge, and power and energy to contribute to this open source community, to CNC community with this open source software. This is it from my side. I wish you all the best, guys. Until the next time, and take care.